Hi there fellow guitarists, my name is Josh Rogers, welcome to NBN Guitar. Today we're going to be covering, I have to take my time with this, Se io mi accorgo ben mio di un altro amante. Anyone that speaks Italian out there, please forgive me for my horrible pronunciation. But yeah, I don't want to have anyone tell me to pronounce it. So I think it means in English, when I am well aware of another lover. There's a little bit of intrigue and romance and spice in the name of this piece. It's from the Renaissance period, which means it's pretty old, at least 400 years, maybe 350 at the absolute minimum, 350 to 500 years old maybe. It wasn't transcribed by me. Oscar Chilesotti was the original person, but I've modified this a little bit just to make it for me a bit more consistent, so you can actually strum a few more chords and have them sounding full instead of picking them like this. But anyway, it's basically just like that. Let's get straight into it. It starts with a D minor chord at the 5th fret. Now this one I bar a half bar in advance at the 5th fret, and I'll show you why a little bit later. So the next finger is on the 6th fret of the B string, and then 7th fret of the G string, and we're going to strum the first 4 strings like this. Now you can strum this any way you like, but I remember being taught by my guitar teacher years ago, one of my guitar teachers, to use the side of the thumb to produce a really nice, round, and like not very sharp, like obtuse tone. And this gives you exactly that. If you use your fingers, it's a bit brighter and the attack is a bit clearer. But for this, I want to sort of have like an old school kind of sound. So I go through slowly there, and I give that last note, which is actually the melody note, a little bit more emphasis. Like that. Okay, so you strum that 3 times. Then you shift to an A minor chord. And this is where that bar comes in handy. If you didn't do the bar, you'd have to do another shift like that. So I just sort of prepare it here. I'm not really putting any pressure on the B and G string though, I'm sort of just hinging it there. And then to the A minor chord. There, as I said, I've got that bar at the 5th fret, and my 3rd finger on the 7th fret of the D, and little finger on the 8th fret of the 1st string, and I strum the same 4 strings. Then I move to this E major chord. What I've done there, I'm just really moving these 2 fingers like that. Okay, so don't overcomplicate this move. It's just here, and then essentially you're just going this way, 1 fret. So you're going there, so this is now 7th fret on the 1st string, 6th fret on the D string, 4th fret on the G string, and your 2nd finger, 5th fret on the B string, and you strum same 4 strings. And then back to this one, which is that A minor chord, but you don't have your 4th finger on. Okay. Something that you might want to do for the sake of performance is to start soft and then crescendo that up like this. Softly, building. So you can see there, I finished that phrase with this open A bass. Then we're shifting to an F major chord. Here I'm barring 5 strings, even though I don't need to right now, but I am. And I'm doing a D major shape. There's a D major chord, and I'm just doing that at the 5th fret. So 2nd finger, 5th fret G string, 3rd finger, 5th fret 1st string, 4th finger, 6th fret B string, and the bar here at the 3rd fret. So I'm barring that 3rd fret there on the D string. So it's the same 4 strings. Then I'm shifting to a C major chord. Watch there carefully. This is a guide finger, so it's moving like this, and these 2 fingers just come up here. So all of these are on the 5th fret. So it's D string 5, G string 5, B string 5. And I'm strumming all 5 strings. That's why I barred 5 strings earlier for the F chord. We go from the F, then to a D minor chord. Watch this finger again, this 4th finger, it's guiding to the 3rd fret on the B string. I'm strumming a D minor chord there. That is open D, 2nd fret on the G string, 3rd fret on the B string, 1st fret on the 1st string. So from here, notice I'm still using my thumb. That's to give a consistent tone from the opening, because this is all really one part of the phrase. Actually this is like an A-B piece, which is binary form. So we've got this melody happening. Okay, so that's what we're hearing, and that forms the A section. So we're here, we've strummed that, and then we've got like a scale passage. So that's 0, 1, 3, 1, 0 on the 1st string, then 3rd fret on the B string. I'll strum that D minor, then to an A major chord, and this finger here is acting as a pivot finger, so don't take it off. So we're going to an A major chord, so that 2nd finger stays there, this goes to the 2nd fret on the D string, this goes to the 2nd fret on the B string, and you're going to strum 5 strings. These two are open. That comes out to this D minor. And then 3, 2, open, 2, all on the B string. We take it from the beginning. So we just finish after this, and then strum all the way through again. Then you do it again. If you watch my playthrough of this, and it's full, the full playthrough of me playing it from beginning to end, you'll notice the second time I do it, the notes are exactly the same, but I change the tone. So I'm not using my thumb anymore. Now I'm using my fingers, I'm plucking them all at once, and I've moved to a ponticello position. Ponticello means close to this bridge saddle here, like this. You can hear it, it's totally contrasting to this. It's nice and warm and round, and this is very brittle and sharp. Technical point here, with your right hand, try not to do this. I know there's some amazing players, especially new modern players, and they, it's almost like those pianists, and they, that go like this. And you see a lot of guitarists these days that sort of, their hands going like this. They're virtuosos, so I'm not saying anything bad about it. But for me, I was taught to keep your right hand steady. I think once you get to that level, like some of those players, they can do whatever they like, and they're still not going to miss the notes. But for us, like normal players, you want to try to restrict the movement to just this, not this. So your fingers should be moving towards your palm and your thumb moving down, and you want to just quick action. And it sort of reminds me of like a lobster claw or something like that, so you're doing this kind of thing here. So, but you can use the same thing dynamically. You can start soft and then it's all the same. There you have to sort of run that like that because you're doing 5 strings. So, or you could use your little finger like that. Okay, so that's an artistic interpretation little tip for you. When you play the same thing twice, try to adjust the tone or the speed or something just to give it variation. Otherwise it sounds like I'm talking like this all the time and I just repeat myself and I just repeat myself, and there's nothing to keep you entertained. So that's kind of the next level of playing when you've got your scales sorted and your fingers work pretty well most of the time. The next level is to start really shaping your overall tone and making sure that you engage listeners throughout your performance. Alright, so let's move on to the second section, or the B section.